Okay, in this video I'm going to show you how to operate the control panel. First of all, I want you to come over here to the left and I want you to press the menu button one time. Then have a look at the output and you'll see it says setting and then a US speed and a BR setting. The US is the speed at which the blade travels when it's not cutting. If this is below 500, you're probably going to want to increase it. And the way to do that is to come over to the right to these buttons here, the plus and minus, and press this top plus button and this will increase that speed up. Or if you go too far, if it's 600 and you want it lower, then you can use the minus sign to bring it down to 500. But either 500 or 600 should be fine. Now then, the second number over here is the baud rate. Now when you first turn on the machine, it probably will say 38,400. If you're using a USB connection, you need to increase that up to 57,600. The way to do that is to come over to the control panel again. This time you're using this left plus button. You're going to press it one time and it should bring it up to 57,600. Now then, if you're using a serial connection, then you'll need to change it to 9,600 and you'll also need to change it in the software, and that's covered in the user manual. But most people are using USB cable, so use the 57,600. Once you get that set, and you won't ever have to set this again, this is just the one time you need to get it set on the machine. Once it's set, then come over to your menu button and press it 2 times. And when you do that, you're back in the main panel again and you'll see ACS. Now then, these two numbers here, the V and the F, this is your velocity and this is your cutting force. The velocity, can vary. You might want to have it down to 50 if you're cutting something very thick and difficult to cut, or it can go all the way up to 600, I believe. To change that, again, over here on the right, you're just going to press the top plus button or the minus button at the bottom to increase or decrease your cutting velocity. Typically when I'm cutting cardstock, I'm cutting at about 200 to 300. If I'm cutting rhinestone rubber, I'm usually cutting at a much lower speed, probably about 150. Then the F, the cutting force, this is a number that ranges from 1 to 160, or if you have a falcon and eagle, will go all the way up to 200. And that is just kind of a nominal scale. It doesn't represent any particular units. It's just a scale, that changes, one number at a time, again from 1 to 160 or 1 to 200. When I'm cutting rhinestone rubber, I'm usually cutting at about a setting of 100. So again, I can just, over here on the right, your buttons here, you can just increase the plus button to bring it all the way up to say 100, and that would be the cutting force for cutting rhinestone rubber. Okay, now then, to go offline, over here, just press the green button to go offline. In the offline mode, then these plus and minus buttons over here, these are used for increasing or moving the mat in and out of the machine, or moving the blade carriage left and right. And I have a video about that, about setting the origin, but just realize it has a different use offline. And then once I set my origin wherever I want to set the pin in the front right corner, I press this middle button and that sets the origin. Then I can come back over here, press the green button, and then I'm back online and I'm ready to cut.